that you just completely get for free, so check that out on our Facebook page. We're just gonna be like getting into this match straight away. You know, why wait? We're actually already in the lobby, and we can see the drafts right off the bat. It looks like Clever Gaming Origin has banned Atomic Poison Ivy, and we see an Aquaman ban. Now, do you think that Aquaman is a little bit too new to really ban him?
I do. Maybe they just don't want to see him. They're unsure of how he'll play.
Right.
So what they don't know, they just kind of get rid of.
Hex, who's Jared Pruitt, was actually playing him earlier and got a stupid amount of kills on him from dunking with the assassinate. So I think maybe they saw that and were like, "That's broken. I don't want anything to do with it." And they probably didn't understand he was playing against random community players, and that it might have just been a little bit of a stacked match. But it looks like we've got Salty Kai going for the first pick, Nightmare Batman. And I saw Flash was banned last game, so Brojo seems to have instantly picked him, but with the surveillance cameras, he's being taken to a lane. I know that typically in the past he's usually taken to the jungle, but with a little bit of, of the drone changes now, maybe he's better in a solo lane.
It could be. I'm assuming Harley Quinn will play the controller role with Cyborg, but you never know. Maybe
she
we'll
does have
see.
the X-ray vision.
Yeah.
And the cameras. So they have X-ray vision cameras, healing wave, and they basically have everything they need to be laning together. And it would make sense. I know MXL123, who might call license plate, just so you know, because his name literally just looks like a license plate. Can you back me up on that?
Yeah.
And it was, I'm pretty sure before it wasn't even a lowercase x. I'm pretty sure it was capital MXL. He was really upset with me when I first did that, and then he kind of just embraced it. So if I say license plate, I'm referring to that Joker right there, just for the record. Actually, so we see African playing in the jungle. Atomic Poison Ivy, that's probably a mentality but behind the Atomic Poison Ivy ban, because African usually plays him. But Supreme Beam also, he says he's a really good Star Sapphire. So, I mean, in terms of team composition, I'm honestly kind of feeling Absolute Legends as having the more solid one, like overall. What do you think of it? Do you think you agree, disagree, or you think that it's kind of like goes one way or the other?
Yeah, it looks like later in the game, Absolute Legends will probably have a better team fight composition with the AoEs from Harley Quinn, Joker, Flash.
It's Cyborg in some way. I mean, his basic attacks essentially become an AoE when he uses it, his ultimate. So basically, they have a lot of synergy, but that also requires a lot of communication on their part. And, that still remains to be seen whether or not they can execute that. Ease and Salty Kai, obviously, they have, between the fear and the suppression, are going to be able to deal a lot of, crowd control damage. But I feel like Gassing Joker sort of falls off to the mid-game, and if Nightmare Batman doesn't get ramped up, he's kind of meh, you know what I mean? Like, he's really powerful early game if he can get those kills, but he doesn't scale as well as everybody else.
Right. It looks like KGO is going for more an early game composition with Nightmare Batman having stealth out of the jungle. Zatanna is always stronger early and kind of falls off as a controller. Yeah. And as you said, Gaslight Joker kind of has to get rolling, otherwise he kind of falls behind. Star Sapphire, I feel, is a good pick.
I love Star Sapphire. I feel like she's super underrated, and I think it's because she has a really high skill cap. Yep. So she does a lot of damage, but you have to be pretty good at her micro to really understand how to do it. I made some crazy Bonds of Love plays earlier. I love that mechanic. It's like the most unique thing that we have, I feel.
Right.
Because people don't anticipate it. You can pull people who are chasing. You can actually, and I'm not sure if this is what you're supposed to be able to do, but if Nightmare Batman ults you and you have your Bonds of Love on him, you can pull him off of you.
Interesting.
While suppressed. That's something that I found out during a match. I almost want that to be a thing as terms of counterplay, but technically suppression is supposed to stop you entirely, so I'm not sure if that's as intended or not. Actually, you should look that up as the ball guy.
That'll be first thing checked on Monday.
Yeah. So let's see what the starting artifacts are going for too. Of course, why not pick up the health packs if you can spare the credits? So I'm seeing Atlantis Gambit, a little bit of lifesteal. That's actually kind of a solid choice, going for Salty Kai between the shield and the Gambit with the additional lifesteal. Why do you think he went with the Gambit as opposed to kind of investing in the Marauder's Knife?
The Marauder's Knife is a little tough. It's stronger later if you get the mod and then you get the lifesteal at the end. The Marauder Shield is a no-brainer. It gives them a little more durability in the jungle.
I'm glad. I think it was the health was brought down a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, in a recent update, because it was for the credits, which is like essentially the lowest purchasable artifact of the game. It was really powerful, but it is definitely still viable between the health and the health regeneration. And I think that the passives are unique, but in a separate way. 2 separate tiers of the Marauder Burst. Are you still able to use it? from the like Marauder Burst 1 is so if you have Marauder
Right.
Burst 1
If they're
and
the
Marauder Burst
same, if they're the same name, they do not stack.
2, okay, that's good then. I mean, maybe not too much for Nightmare Batman this particular one because he's not going for the Marauder's Knife as far as we can see. But if you're jungling somebody like Atomic Poison Ivy and want to go for the ring and the shield, that would probably be good once you invested in it later on, right?
Right.
So I mean, in terms of lane matchups, let's check it out. So they're actually going for, this is the health destroyer here, right? And health is up here.
Correct.
Okay, so they're going for the health. Is being a good doobie and helping him out. I think they're just protecting the speed destroyer up here, but it's pretty unlikely that you're actually going to be able to invade. So I just saw Zatanna back, and I'm not sure why she did.
It looks like just to buy another health pack.
But couldn't she have just bought that at the turret?
It won't refresh at the
You're right.
turret.
You're absolutely right. I don't even know why I thought that. What the heck? Yeah, that's true. I feel like I've just kind of taken it for granted, like buying from turrets because it's such a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I buy it because I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy this now because I know if I go back to base, I'm probably not going to want to invest in it. I like force myself to invest in it early on. That's probably where my mentality was about that. Gaslight Joker against Joker Prime, I feel like, is a naturally difficult matchup for Gaslight Joker. He does have the sustain, but I think if MXL can land his punchies, which, you know, is more difficult now that the projectile speed is introduced.
Right.
Or missile speed, I should say.
The drone aggro, the drone aggro is going to help Gaslight Joker a little bit if you can get in there and just kind of sustain over time, but...
That war of attrition?
Yeah, the war of attrition is very strong for Gaslight Joker.
Yeah, I feel like he's a pretty freaking good jungler in terms of throwing a Sam toss. You have to be pretty good at it, though, but it looks like License Plate is actually being fairly aggressive and trying to deny. I think in terms of general aggression, he should be more careful about lasting, because by pushing all of his drones to his turret, now Gaslight Joker can farm fairly easily.
Right.
Because the turret's pretty much just killing it for him. All he has to do is last hit. But if he wanted to be a huge jerk, he would just go ahead and, you know, zone him out of there. Apparently, we missed Supreme giving first blood to African.
That was very early.
Yeah, that was crazy early. I think it was, yep, must have been down here. And I think that African was actually super low by the time he had gone back to base. That's, you know, Gaslight Catwoman does not have really potent early ganks, I would say, like at level 2. When you think that, like, even if she took her stealth, like, you can either use her W or use her Q. And in that regard, it's not too much. But, oh, African is already teleporting back in. To take teleport on a jungle is a pretty risky move. But it seems to be working. They're both vying for the EMP, but there's 3 and 3, and I feel like they're being on the defensive here. Let's see who can land the last hit on this. Oh, so it actually does end up going to African. I think he was able to use his consume and then picking up the kill on Nightmare Batman. Yikes! So they probably should have just let that happen.
Yeah.
Now they lost EMP and they lost Salty Kai. So Nightmare Batman was down there trying to make a play. Now both of the junglers, what I'm seeing, is taking teleport. Is this something that has evolved recently, or even on the qual team when you're playtesting? Do you see junglers often take teleport to make those sneaky plays?
Not really, especially on a jungler that has stealth. I don't really feel the need.
Yeah, this is what African is doing. He actually does. African also has teleport, so I don't know. I feel like teleport is more of like a, you know, late game wanting to split push or make a sneaky play, or somebody who naturally won't be able to have high mobility or sneakiness. Like if I'm Star Sapphire mid or Joker mid, I'm gonna want to take teleport. But why would you really want to take it on somebody who naturally is going to be in every lane at all
They're going to be roaming at all times.
Yeah.
But like you said, late game lanes aren't going to matter as much. Maybe they want someone, they know someone on the other team has teleport. They need someone to counter that, and they just can't let them split push and engage when they want.
And you did say in KGO's case, at least, they are looking for the early game. But unfortunately, it seems like Absolute Legends is already taking that early game. So KGO is going to need to be a little bit more cautious about this.
Yeah, I think the early death on Nightmare Batman is going to set him back a little bit and might delay his early game potency.
Especially after just saying that Nightmare Batman needs to ramp up early. You know, denying him those credits is going to be pretty rough for him. Because you can only go really one way or another. If you built him the tankier, bruiser-esque enforcer route, then he's basically dealing no damage. But if you decide to deal him damage, well then he's going to blow up instantly. So it looks like Juice was a little overstated.
Yep, might be caught out here. The flash slow.
Bro, Joe!
Oh, not enough.
Good for them to peel away from that, though. Sometimes you get that tunnel vision, and when you're that low, you keep wanting to go ham for it. So Salty Kai comes in on the Joker. Good hand toss, but has he used his Vanish at this point? It seems like he has, or probably already would have used it. That was really good response from African coming up there to the top lane. Bullying them away. I don't know that they necessarily need to stay. I feel like at that point, the moment you show your face, well, actually, with Brojo coming up here, I totally stand corrected because they can probably... They could have secured that kill, I think, if they had positioned, flanked a little bit more to the left. But I think they decided to be a bit on the defensive.
Yeah, they didn't want to go too hard and maybe lose an EMP. They value the EMP more, it looks like.
Looks like, actually, they got the EMP on bot lane. They're probably going to take the top lane as well. Yep, and little opposition. What can you really do as two melee characters with pretty low health?
All right, and I don't think anyone took the original EMP, so they'll have the double duration.
But, you know, in early game, is there really a prime opportunity to use a double EMP? I mean, you don't deal that much damage to the turret, so unless somebody's already low and you're intending to dive them, what can you really do with it?
It's more about securing the kills, I guess, than mowing down the turrets. You're not going to have the high damage to just cut through turrets in 6 seconds.
It's also kind of dismaying, you know what I mean, when you're losing all of the objectives, even if they're not necessarily immediately available to you, they're just like, damn, they got both EMPs, and, you know, now they have all those credits.
And you gotta play on your heels a little bit. Zatanna just bullying her lane.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about Zatanna, is she's actually like a faux blaster in the sense that she's a controller, but she deals so much burst with her Punish Skewer combo. She always has, and that ultimate is so devastating, but of course, the moment you go on her, she goes down. She doesn't even need to be a bunny to die instantly, because if she wants to deal all the damage, she can't afford to build any sort of enforcer out. And what's going to teleport? Well, despite the fact that the knockback no longer stuns, she did push him away, and see, that's exactly why I feel like teleport has got to be a waste. Like, you're kind of relying on making a play in the jungle, and now basically the stolen power that he could have used that may have only had a 2-minute cooldown is now like a 5-6 minute cooldown.
Yep, that's true. I think he should really worry about hitting level 6 first and getting his ganks to that deadly potential than trying to force something with teleport.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, the trap that a lot of people fall into with teleport. They think like, oh, we got that sneaky element, and even if you're a really good player, if you're playing against other really good players, then they're probably going to anticipate that. And if they have any sort of micro to be able to juke, you know, coming in, and you're a level 4 Nightmare Batman, you have to hit your Silver Batarang, and that's the only thing that you can offer. And there's not really any amount of CC that we have going on down here, except for the Bonds of Love, which is, you know, essentially a micro stun, and Cripsy with his slow, which is really, really, I don't want to say weak, but it's not substantial in the early game at all. So I think that was just kind of like, it was essentially fruitless. They didn't lose too much because they did pick up that Raider, but that just sort of evened out the credits.
Right. Actually, credits are surprisingly even.
Literally even. 10K on both sides. But that's the thing. I like talking about it because it's an aspect that I really enjoy about Infinite Crisis is that kills don't really matter. It matters, like, your map control matters. Of course, kills matter to an extent. But if you're just getting kills mindlessly because you want to feel like you're good and you're like, you know, just combating people, then it's not necessarily going to win you the game. Like right now, they're apparently grouping bot because they want to make a play on this. They have the EMP, which we were saying doesn't work too well early game, but Brojo intends to go on this really hard. He does have his ultimate, so he can, well, he did use it. Unfortunately, they were just out of range, but it did kind of zone them to the point where they're probably going to be able to secure this. Oh, the Salty Kai, he actually does have his ultimate at this point, but pretty good damage on that. I almost feel like it wasn't even due to the EMP, though.
Yeah, it was more Flash's...
Flash's zoning. Yeah.
Get in there, ultimate.
But it was a good thought.
Control this area for a short duration.
I think a lot of people also kind of, not the pro teams because they're pretty good, like maybe he wasn't even thinking about using that ult aggressively. He was probably just like, if I do this, it's going to frighten them away from the turret.
Right.
And they got substantial damage on it, and that sort of thing is worth, and you know, newer players might regard that as like, why would you waste your ultimate? You didn't even kill anybody.
Not dealing any damage.
But it's a good play.
Yeah.
And
zone control is very important.
The Joker kind of does the same thing with his ultimate. People see the poison cloud and they're like, probably should go in there. Oh, Brojo, see. Now this would have been a good opportunity for him to have his ultimate. Ooh, one basic attack, it's still not enough.
Yeah.
Pretty good time to vulnerability, but I think Salty Kai did blow his ultimate for that.
Yeah.
So they both blew their ultimate and he managed to get away. That's actually kind of difficult to believe. But like, I mean, Zatanna shreds your armor. And Nightmare Batman stops you from doing anything at all.
Yeah.
For 2 seconds, right? At least 2 seconds.
Right.
So that's rough. He must be building some sort of... Oh, he does have Cosmic Belt, so I guess that tiny bit, the Cosmic Belt and the Medusa Mask might have slightly... He doesn't even Medusa Mask rank 3, though, so... I don't know! That Flash is magic. That's my conclusion. My very logical conclusion, that Flash is magic. And the bot lane, it actually looks like kind of an unfortunate matchup overall for Green Iron Star Sapphire because, you know, going against a controller that has a heal might naturally put you at a disadvantage. You see how potent that heal is if she builds just the slightest bit of will, and she's already going for that Aventur's Lantern.
It's actually surprising. I've seen a lot of Harley Quinns go more of attack damage build. I know she has higher power damage ratios, but the attack damage sort of scales into the late game a little better.
Yeah, absolutely, because anybody can go attack damage and be really powerful, but you kind of have a limit on your abilities with how much power damage you can do, but your basic attacks can essentially be just as strong as anybody else's, depending on your artifacts, with the exception of attack damage per level. Of course, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. I actually missed who got that. Did you see it? I was, like, kind of looking at you.
Up top it looks like...
Oh, so Absolute Legends did pick that up.
That was a close one.
They've been dominating those EMPs, though. I think that the one I bought... Yep. Regen Destroyer. Where's the EMP? I guess it's not coming up for a little while, so... They've just been making plays. All around, it seems like Absolute Legends has pretty dang good map control.
Yeah, it's surprising the gold is actually in favor of KGO. I guess they're just farming that much better. Flash.
Well, it might be attributed to the fact, you remember when they were all down there in the lane together, trying to make that play. I think the rest of KGO was there. Ooh, unfortunately, the Nightmare Batman Ultimate goes down on Khan. Is he going to be able to get away? One more basic attack from Green Arrow and he's down. Ooh, the Predator just barely misses him. Wow, Absolute Legends has seen some lucky... I don't want to say lucky, because obviously, to a certain extent, it's skill in being able to get away.
It's all
but
calculated.
Like, calculated. That's exactly what you say every time you get away with, like, 2 health. Ooh, that was pretty good. Salty Kai knew that he was in there.
He knew. Not in time.
Not enough.
There's actually sort of a misplay by Nightmare Batman there, using his suppress during the root of Star Sapphire. He could have waited a little bit and kind of chained the CC a little more.
I think people do that a lot. And that also has to do with like lack of immediate coordination. Sometimes it's difficult when you're making a Twitch play like that. You go like, all right, let's all go in. And then you're like, oh, crap. Right. Both of our stuns or our crowd control was used at the same time. But at the same token, they did force Cyborg away. So I guess that was kind of worth to them. And Nightmare Batman's ultimate is not steep by any means, or rather the cooldown isn't steep. So that's probably going to be up basically in no time. There's some pinging going on because it looks like another play is going to be made for the Raider. Kind of a defensive play by Brojo going over that way, knowing that African's getting hit in the mid lane. I don't know, it seems like basically what we're seeing is that the teams are fairly evenly matched. KGO did get that Raider, which kind of left the two of them, and they're more focused on farming. But it seems that Absolute Legends, is, which we were saying earlier, has a little bit more team synergy, so they're probably more like team fight oriented. So maybe we'll see in the later game that it's going to favor Absolute Legends, but as long as KGO can keep up with their objective control, with the exception of the Pulse Destroyers, which don't really give you that much credits, in terms of like your team. Right. They're probably going to be able to keep up. We're able to defend that bottom turret though, so that is going to lend a bit of an advantage to Absolute Legends. I don't know though, a lot of pinging going there. Finally, Salty Kai lands an ultimate that's probably going to secure a kill. Pretty preemptive pull on Bonds of Love, but it really didn't matter because everybody was there to kill him. I think leveling Bonds of Love is really powerful on Star Sapphire because you can just so much damage protect, like, and you just let it happen and wait to use the pull right before it expires. So KGO gonna get the second Raider, you think?
If Flash has anything to say about it, he's kind of waiting for his team, letting him know he's there.
Already taking so much damage. Oh, he's the bunny. He's not even gonna live to use his ult, or maybe he is just barely. I think Nightmare Batman is gonna go down. You're absolutely right. The Flash completely turned that around, but the teleport coming in for ease, I believe. Half health, but it doesn't really matter. Raider's doing a little bit of damage, but it's a license plate in the back. Joker's trying to zone his ultimate, but Gaslight Joker's running down the carry over here. A little bit too deep, though. He went in so hard, but his team wasn't able to keep up because two of them were basically an inch away from dying. So, KGO was in position for the Raider. Absolute Legends said, you know what, I'm going to get this next Raider. And here we go. I think that Absolute Legends is kind of taking reign in terms of the early game here. KGO is going to need to be a little bit more communicative about, like, you know, if Ease was coming down, it needed to happen sooner, sort of thing. And he probably needed to not be at half health. It was a really Twitch decision, but it wasn't at the right time.
Yeah, it was really impressive watching Flash kite them around, kind of letting them know he's there, but not really threatening until his team can get there.
I think Flash is a really freaking scary person because with his QW combo, he deals like half of somebody's health if they don't really have any power armor.
Right.
And that's not really something that you can disregard, especially as somebody like freaking Star Sapphire or Zatanna. And in terms of squishiness, I mean, who do they really have besides Zatanna in terms of peel? Like, basically Star Sapphire has to self-peel, and that actually mitigates her damage, because if she's concerned about keeping herself alive, she's not concerned about dealing her AoE to the enemy team.
Right. And
it kind of goes the same way with, Cripsy on Green Arrow. He's a really powerful marksman, but he's got kind of a high skill cap, so if you're not used to him, you can die pretty easily without cycling the damage that you need to.
And it's always better to see the Nightmare Batmans using their ultimates offensively rather than having to peel.
Yeah,
but its situation is different, so you never know when you're going to have to use it.
There's no hard crowd control. It feels like almost each one of these people have some way of peeling just by sheer, Harley Quinn naturally being the controller. Like, Joker can even throw his micro stun to just stop somebody for a second and stop them from pathing, and that can be enough to save. Obviously, Brojo with the ultimate can really peel for somebody just by existing in that speedstorm.
Right, I really like the late Zatanna pick for KGO, because when Flash is going to dive in, hopefully he gets that bunny quick enough in that short fuse time, and they can take him down before he can actually use his ultimate.
He almost did. You saw him almost go down at the radar there. He was critically low, but I think it just took a little bit more coordination on KGO's part to bring him down. I think they're going to actually be picking up the second turret here. They've been so good at picking up those EMPs. Ooh, see, maybe he wanted to wait just a little bit to use his ultimate there was trying to secure that kill.
Yep.
So I think he used it a little bit preemptively, but at least he did frighten Gaslight Joker away, so now there's only a couple people up here.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird use of the EMP. They didn't really get any turret damage or a kill out of it, so...
I think maybe he was not anticipating the allies of KGO to be there, so he's probably thinking, I'll kill Gaslight Joker, then we'll push the drones and take the turret. But since there were basically 3 in the top lane, which you wouldn't really expect, like, nobody's hanging out in the mid lane.
Yep.
But, I mean, I don't think KGO has to, because they took the mid turret, so unless there's a big drone push going, do they really need to land anybody there? Probably not. I think, oh god, Hardwood, music is too good, it distracts my brain. You hear this?
Yes, I do.
God dang it. Guy is too real.
It's actually a rather nice gold lead for Gaslight Joker.
And why the heck is that?
Just being able to sit in lane and farm credits and never really have to go back. You can buy towers now, so...
You know what? That's true, and like we were talking about in terms of the war of attrition, I'm sure that the Joker Prime, can actually secure a kill. So eventually, Gaslight Joker's kind of left to his own devices, and you're kind of like, you can't really gank him. You can't really, like, except for if they had coordinated with the EMP with multiple people, they might have been able to get him. But he's, like, kind of just unkillable. He's one of those, like, infinite sustain, not gonna kill you, but you're not gonna kill him either.
Right.
And that's somebody that's really annoying to deal with once he gets a couple of kills.
He's just super durable, and if he lands his spell shield at the right time, and you're not even gonna catch him.
Oh god, you're not gonna catch him, or he'll catch you because he's running at, like, 50 miles an hour and throws his ultimate on. I don't know. I think that Absolute Legends just kind of they have their players in one lane at all times, it seems like. And if they do end up sending somebody, Salty Kai with another good ultimate. See, that's the time where, like, the stealth is already gone. Using his ult there, like, was no issue. He knew that the Vanish was down. Right. So that was kind of rough. That's kind of sucked for the Joker. But at the same time, he did have the cameras there. So, well, he had them outside, and so because they came up in the middle, he had no idea that they were there. Yep. And that has to do with, camera placement. That's kind of his own thing, You don't want to be going out that far if you don't have any cameras. Yeah, it makes it tough because you get the tri-corner stealth pads. Yeah. And then they can just kind of come up the middle. Maybe if you get a deeper camera into the center. You have to make that decision. I honestly feel like it's typically safer to just kind of put it in the center, because if you're not going any past the mid, more or less, if they're coming from behind you, you have time to get your turret. You might take a fair bit of damage, but it's not likely that you won't be able to get to your turret before they kill you. Right.
It kind of leaves you susceptible to the lane ganks, kind of where KGO is coming from if they went to bottom lane, but...
Yeah. I mean, if Nightmare Batman is going to use his teleport to secure a kill, it means that he's basically dedicated to whatever lane he teleports to, or whichever area. So if Absolute Legends responds to that in kind by being in another turret, then it's almost just as good as the teleport gank. So unless it's like trading turret for turret, and even so, Absolute Legends doesn't really suffer that much for it, because they basically use the teleport cooldown. I think I haven't actually seen African use his teleport again. I think he is waiting for a good opportunity. They're actually really on top of it. Everybody seems to be vying for the Raider, like, at all times, and I think they're going to be... KGO is actually not getting here in time. Once again, Rojo going in with the flash attack. The ultimate doing so much damage to Supreme. Ooh, but Ease actually comes in with full health this time, and African might get taken out. Does get taken out by the Gaslight Joker. Salty Kai does take out the flash after using his ultimate, so now the flash is not there to help anybody. So I think Absolute Legends, after picking up that Raider, still just die. Do you think that's worth it if you get the Raider, but your entire team dies?
I don't know.
Probably not.
You get the global credits and the vision. I don't even know if they actually got their surveillance tower out in time.
I don't think they did. Wait. This is the one from earlier, because it's KGO's. So I think that Absolute Legends... And that's a really interesting thing. You go for the Raider, but if you don't have vision of the whole area, which it actually seemed like they didn't. Wait a second.
Oh, so they dropped it there.
It's right there. So they have a few down, but they did protect their own jungle. It was kind of a risky, a really quick placement, because you can see the one immediately above it.
Yep.
It probably should have gone, lower, but it's kind of interesting that they didn't pick up on that. I think they were so hungry for those kills that they didn't bother thinking about, wait a second, where did they place that surveillance tower?
Yep.
And now, if somebody dies with the surveillance tower, just as a buff, ready to be placed, does it drop on the ground, or does it just fizzle out?
I'm pretty sure it just fizzles.
Okay. Is it like that with all the other, like, Leviathan buffs?
The Leviathan buffs, I think, drop, and they can be re-picked up. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Salty Kai does not have his ultimate up, so as a Nightmare Batman, it was kind of risky for him to go right in there, but I guess he didn't know that Eves was coming. They were pretty out of position, but it was probably worth it to take that turret. I think MXL should just escape, like, let Paprika die. Wow, oh my god. It seems like they're not able to really secure a kill over there on the KGO side, and that's probably attributed to the fact that they just do not have as much individual merit on, like, murdering champions.
Right, I mean, and their marksman, Green Arrow, isn't there, he's bottom. So
it's good though for them, right? I mean,
yeah, he's gonna be pushing towers, but for team fighting, they just don't have the DPS for the team fight.
Probably gonna get that turret. Yeah, definitely gonna get that turret. And the solo lane experience will be good for him. Solo lane experience and credits. And with 5 of them here, so this is exactly what we saw them doing prior, which was kind of lending themselves to. At first, it seemed like it was hurting them because, like you said, there was a lack of credits over here for individually, like the ones who needed credits. But with all the turrets that they've been getting, I feel like the strategy actually has ended up working out for them. Ooh, Khan actually running right into there. All he wanted to do was go home, but that was really perfect of a kill secure. And now this is the good thing about having a teleport is like kind of this aggressive push in the bottom lane.
Right, you get the 23 minutes into the game, everyone's kind of roaming around, the towers are down, you can make a play if you catch someone out like that.
Yep, and I think that entirely has to do with vision. They did have the camera in that tri-stealth pad, so they knew that was coming. This is really quite an evenly matched game. And despite the fact that they have more deaths, they still have a fair credit lead. I think that's so freaking cool because it just shows that like you just have to play to your strength. Whoever plays to their strengths harder is the one who wins the game. You think that like more or less if a team is evenly matched, it comes down to team composition?
I think it comes to team composition, and every team fight is going to be different. I mean, if you catch out a marksman early in a team fight, it's just going to be that much easier to take down the rest of the team if you're not dealing with DPS.
Yeah. We're seeing KGO kind of picking up the slack in the turrets that they were lacking before. I think that it feels like this is going to be like a slow, like Absolute Legends is going to get a turret or two, and then KGO is going to do the same thing, and it's probably just all going to come down to when the respawn timers are so high that nobody can respond. I feel like that's going to be the way that the game ends, because at this point they're all playing fairly well. Ooh, almost. That was a pretty good snipe. Ooh, is the bomb gonna go off? Oh my god! So the thermite bomb doesn't deal too much damage. That would be pretty rough if it did, because you can cast it like every 4 seconds.
Right,
so.
and it's applying on your auto attack.
Right. But that was definitely a good snipe on that part. Does it actually deal damage to the enemies next to him as well?
Yeah. And he also gets the passive when he kills a drone. It does a little AoE damage.
Oh right, every time he gets a kill. Well, when he gets a kill on anything, it explodes, right?
When it's active, yeah.
Yeah, he has to have the stance active. Okay. I mean, I feel like that's maybe not what Green Arrow wants to be in all the time, but when he wants to deal that burst damage, a little burst of a team fight, that's what he wants to do.
Right. He wants to poke with it a little bit.
Yeah.
He wants his ballistic arrows up for the DPS. He gets the armor pen passive from it.
Yeah, that's like incredible, especially if you stack it with like the Marauder knife.
The Marauder knife has the mod with the armor pen. The atomic axe has the percent. Yeah, Coda Blades too has the flat armor pen.
How much penetration can you get if you like take all of the pen stuff?
Atomic axe has the percent. I want to say 35%.
35, I think it is. Yeah.
And then 15 on Coda Blades and 10 on the knife mod.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Flat, yeah, that's like, essentially true damage. You
Right.
have no armor.
Plus the flat that's built into his kit, so it's just that much more for him.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't even factoring in that we were talking about Green Arrow. I was
Yeah.
just thinking about it in general. But, of course, you do sacrifice like crit or attack speed if you're going ham like that. So actually getting flanked, they go in really hard on African. Tries to stealth away, but not good. A little bit of a delayed ult by Harley Quinn. Probably not going to be able to really do much. It looks like a really split fight right now. Nobody's really focusing anybody. Khan is trying to force, and successfully kind of forcing GS away from the fight, but he's coming back in to use a skewer. Nightmare Batman does end up going down, and there goes the Cyborg. Without Cyborg, what are you going to do here? Just run. That's what you're going to do. You don't really want to fight this anymore. And there they go, going for the Raider. Going to be able to pick this up without having to contest it, I would imagine, because Joker goes for that. He's a little bit crazy. Now at this point, say you're the Joker right now. You're pushing the mid lane. You're by yourself, and you know that the entire enemy team is below you. Do you keep pushing mid lane?
No.
Like, not at all. You just completely peace out of there.
No, he's doing the good thing. He's swinging top. Maybe get that lane going. He could push to the tower. I don't think he's going to get the tower out of it, though.
Yeah. I feel like what I might have done, a silly thing, would be to have, like, pushed the drones to where they are, got, like, maybe 6 auto attacks off, know that they're all coming for me, and then run to top lane and force them to just like run in forever. And they just know that they're not going to reach me, but make them feel like they can. It was just kind of risky, obviously, but I feel like I'm a little bit more aggressive like that. I try to do the mind games.
A little greedy.
Yeah, you might see that. I think that they're kind of similar to that, but they're both really good at. Well, actually, they've actually surpassed them in kills at this point. It seems to be like a 1-for-1 thing going on there.
Yeah, it's very close. I mean, it's still only 3,000 credit difference.
It's really anybody's game. I feel like even if you're like 20k credits down, it can be anybody's game if you just decide to make the right play at the right time. But at this point, it's kind of going exactly how we were saying, which was turret by turret, objective by objective, and it seems like they kind of just keep cycling it. Really, what it comes down to is I've always had like difficulty imagining. So is it the mistake of the enemy team, or is it the prowess? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, for example, Brojo is probably going to die. Almost dies to Gaslight Joker right now. Was that necessarily Brojo's mistake for being out too far, or Gaslight Joker's, strength for being there at the right time?
I think it was Flash, as we said, being a little greedy, knowing he has the flash attack just to get away.
Kind of a situational thing.
Yeah, Star Sapphire gets caught out there. That's unfortunate.
Oh, that was rough. She did try to use her Predator to get away, but just not enough. Salty Pie has his ult. Jeez, that was really good, Mr. Punchy Land. He's coming in and disrupting the entire enemy team. Joker's gonna go down before he can even. Yeah, he did throw his ultimate, but it just didn't really do much because he wasn't in the proper position. Brojo does come in a little bit delayed, but he's probably gonna be able to just force Cripsy to death. Yeah, you can't.
He's
run
not
from
getting
the
away
Flash.
from Flash.
Yeah, you don't run from the Flash. Oh, Cripsy, I'm sorry. F equals MA. Punches. One more. I'm sorry. You just can't. And there's the annihilation. And so tell me, was that Star Sapphire's fault for getting caught out? Or was that the enemy team going, we're going to target the Star Sapphire and kill her?
No, I think she got caught out a little bit, but you also had Gaslight Joker trying to trade with the Flash, and he was kind of like, they have no one else that can tank any damage.
Yeah.
Whereas Flash can kind of get in and zone with his ultimate, and Joker's ultimate can zone their backline out. So they kind of need that durable character to get in their face and...
Yeah. I mean, as Gaslight Joker, you don't have damage. You really just have Disrupt and like kind of you either force somebody away or you just like try to beat somebody down. But that was really rough for them, actually. They did end up getting the kill on African, which is good for them. Paprika that was a good play. I mean, she kind of knew she was going to die at that point, so she was just trying to deter them for as long as she could from pursuing. Ooh, Salty Kai. I would say overextended, but he kind of knows that there's a lot of damage outgoing. Now,
I think he actually teleported.
Did he?
Behind
that would
them,
have made
that's
sense.
why.
Oh, probably right here.
Yeah.
Well, they have a lot of surveillance cameras. It looks like KGO is really good at placing that vision.
Yeah, they're going to just give this up and hopefully be able to save the dampener.
So you think maybe was it worth it to take that dampener? Or they should have backed immediately, or maybe only did a certain amount of damage to the dampener and then gone back? Because when you know that they're coming up that quickly, if they can just overrun you, it looks like they might just trade dampener for dampener at this point.
Right. It basically comes down to if they can protect this dampener, then it was definitely worth it.
So there's a Joker ultimate to protect it. Yeah, I would definitely say that was worth it. They only lost 2 right there, right? They lost
they lost 2.
And they lost African.
Yep.
Now, when you're a really good team against another really good team, unless you have a crap ton of cameras out, do you think it's a really risky play to go for the Leviathan if nobody's died on the enemy team?
Yeah, it's a risk, but it has the reward with all the skills that it gives you. But as you said, it's not something I just want to go in blindly when we're ahead. You kind of have to know where the other team is and get your advantage. African's going to try to sneak this.
Do it, African. Oh, that was a perfect ham toss. Oh my god, still got it. Still went in there and used the consume. I saw the credits over her head.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a really good ham toss. He just needed to wait for like a quarter of a second, and that wouldn't have happened. That was really good. That's the sort of thing that's like, I feel like if I were like Gaslight Joker Zatanna, I would have got pissed and just like chased him. Like, oh god, now you just took it. I'm gonna like ult you and murder you.
Right. They also were trying to do the objective without a consumer detonate, which African has the detonate, so he kind of has the advantage for the
That's
creature
really
damage.
true. I didn't realize that both of them. Actually, nobody with the exception of the jungler has any way of dealing a lot of damage to drones right at the bat like that. So they were taking a risk. But I mean, it was a little bit of a steal on African's part, and definitely props. But it wasn't too much that they really should have killed themselves over. What do we have teleporting in here? Once again, Ease. I feel like Ease has just made the teleport always for the Raider.
Yeah.
He's always trying to make those plays with the Raider. Ooh, they're actually at a disadvantage here, it seems like. Ooh, perfect ultimate by Supreme. Nice assassination on African, though. Goes down. MXL, too. Immediately two of the strongest characters over there. Instantly taken out. They don't have the damage, with the exception of Rojo. And African is kind of like already did all of the skills when he had taken out that Star Sapphire. Oh, but still, you know, it's Gaslight Catwoman, so just able to shred like that. I really thought at first that they would have been able to take it one way or another, but KGO did well there. See, you know, when you use your teleport, it's good to have full health. Imagine if he had taken it at full health, he would have been dead right now.
Exactly.
So KGO seems like they're actually making a lot of good plays at this point. They do have their dampener down. They haven't really made it to the power core turrets at this point. They took... Where do you think they're going to put that camera? Let's check it out. Let's follow it. How do you see that? How do you see that? Help my brain.
They probably have a surveillance tower. That lower left one, I think.
You are absolutely correct. Like I said, I need some help with my brain sometimes. And they must have had one. Yep, right there. It does have a separate icon. Ooh! Where the heck was he? See, why are you out that far? You know? But, you know, in a
No
place
teammates around.
No.
A little greedy.
I think they were going up. They were making their way up there. It looks like he's waiting to probably put it in a more aggressive place. Look at they have 4 people with cameras over here. You think that's like kind of overkill to have that many cameras?
Yes and no. It's actually surprising that more of them don't have the green arrow camera, which I kind of value more in terms of the camera battles.
I think that a lot of people, they think, oh, well, it reveals stealth, and if there's no stealth champion on the enemy team, or like it's only Gaslight Catwoman, and she's got a pretty manageable stealth, they probably don't find it that valuable. I think a lot of people overlook the fact that it's going to reveal the cameras nearby.
Gives you nice stealth pad control and
And a lot of people...
Objective control.
Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe that might just be the part KGO in general. They do like to try to attempt to control those objectives. They left a lot of those EMPs, but they have been way on top of the radar, and it's really been due to the fact that they have cameras everywhere that there is to have cameras.
Yep.
Now, Ease is going in, flanking the Flash, but you can't really catch the Flash unless you have a lot of control on him, so it's kind of... It's not fun to play against the Flash. Like, I mean, in the sense, like, a Flash who knows what he's doing like this just runs around. Where's the Flash?
Running circles,
he's
if you will.
waiting for the... Oh, so it did hit him. Yeah, I'm running circles around you. Yes, that's exactly what I will. Now, right now, two people... So Star Sapphire Nightmare Batman were like, whatever. He's either dead or I'm not chasing him anymore. So... Brojo just kind of ran around and effectively did nothing except for stop them. Do you think it was kind of worth it? Like, between what happened right here?
Not really. I mean, his team isn't really going to gain any objectives unless they take Leviathan, but it's pretty risky. Looks like they're going to swing top and try to get that tower, which will make it
that is a good call.
Right, but if I was KGO, I might just push mid. They have their dampener open.
It seems like KGO is a little bit more on the defensive side than the offensive side, as we saw them mostly in the early game. And they don't have the same offensive capabilities, so that kind of makes sense, but I don't know that they're going to want to be aggressive. I think if they see Absolute Legends going on the offense, they might immediately just get defensive. And instead of going, all right, let's trade 1 for 1, they go, let's defend this turret, I don't want it to fall.
Right. More reactive rather than...
Yeah. Which isn't necessarily bad. I mean, that works for a lot of people, but sometimes you need to be proactive to really take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you.
Yep.
We're just gonna... I mean, they're both... They both seem to have a sort of defensive tendency, and it's not until, like, one gets just a little bit too far ahead, and then, like, everybody dies. Mm-hmm. It's not usually, like, with the exception of Brojo, like, dying, like, a little bit, there's not really anybody who's just... straight up like overextending, dying, or getting caught out on a regular basis. So it just comes down to being in a team fight and kind of like the individual micro and how well people peel and how well people focus once they get into that team fight.
Right, we actually have EMPs for both sides. It looks like KGO just picked theirs up and Absolute Legend has theirs in their base.
So when you pick them up, does the EMP actually disappear from the top lane because it's only showing what's active in the beacon?
Right.
Alright, makes sense. They do. They're pretty... Oh my gosh, they have double EMP. KGO
there you go.
Is 2 steps. So that's just as good as having tier 2. If not better, because you can decide 2 different times.
You can split it up, yeah.
A lot of pinging over here on Absolute Legends. I think they see the... No, I don't know if they saw the tower so much as they were saying, let's position ourselves here. Didn't actually get to see it, but that's definitely good. Taking that out, because that literally lasts forever until you find it and take it out. And then it will sustain through 10 basic attacks. So, is that... he doesn't see that camera there, but they know he's there. Brojo likes to do this flanking thing, but I think that he might be a little bit too ham. Like, he thinks he's the Flash, you know, the invincible Flash, but we've seen him go down once he gets a little bit of crowd control, so he's got to be careful about the way he uses his ultimate there. Oh my god, so much damage dealt to Ease, but that... What is that Moose Speed boost? It's like 50% at max rank or something crazy?
Yeah, it could be that, and... Harley Quinn's passive is also giving move speed if she heals him or uses the ability near him.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. This seems strange. Like there's almost like a distinct lack of things happening, and maybe they're both the type of team that's like, I don't really want to go in too deep and risk making a play that could change the game.
Right. They're kind of waiting. It seems like everyone wants to wait till they're full build or a little closer to full build. No one wants to make the mistake. Looks like Supreme missed the surveillance. There he goes. Good to go.
Missed it. How do you like miss it? You just
he must have clicked off of it. And
oh yeah, like a little bit too quickly.
Like, I'll come back for that.
Oh yeah.
He dropped it somewhere. A little deep in the jungle actually. That's
here.
No, I think it was above them.
Oh, this one?
I think that was the new one. Yeah, that's the new one.
Oh, I thought he hadn't even made it there yet. Probably right though. So when you summon the Predator and you send it in, if you send it in behind this drone wave, does the dampener switch aggro to the Predator, or does it just wait until...
it'll aggro the closest target, so if the Predator's attacking it, if the Predator's attacking the turret, it'll
be the closest.
Aggro the Predator, yeah, exactly.
Even the melee drones have a higher attack range than the Predator does?
The Predator's attack range is probably higher, but his model is that much bigger, so it depends.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a nice
Lots of
catch.
love. That was really good. Salty Kai actually catching Joker out of position. Joker doesn't want to be the one in the front lines. Really good ult by Flash. Helps Cyborg pick up that kill. And now Flash going ham, but he's definitely going to go down there. It goes down to the skewer from Zatanna. I mean, this is true too. Like, it feels like this is exactly what's happening. They go in on one another. A couple people die, and then it's like kind of a stalemate at this point.
No one wants to commit to finish the fight.
No.
Joker actually died without even using his ultimate, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and I'm sure if he had, that probably would have changed it in their favor.
Yeah.
But that was really good on KGO's part. The moment they saw him, they were like, you.
Yeah.
He just
Nightmare
died.
Batman ult, and I'm not sure if he got the bunny too, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. Can you be bunnied while Nightmare Batman ultimated?
Yes.
Oh god. Just a vampire just eating a cute little
Yeah,
rabbit.
it would actually probably mess up the suppress if he's too quick.
Not like it matters though, because
Yeah.
now you're a bunny. And it's still just as horrifying as being ulted by Nightmare Batman. Maybe not in real life. I think if Nightmare Batman ulted me in real life, it'd be a little bit more horrifying than if I was turned into a bunny.
Do you think you can take him, fend him off a little bit? Or not so much?
I don't think so,
No?
no. I haven't really had many run-ins with vampires, not vampires that are like Batman, so
Okay.
probably not. I mean, you know, if you've had any particular experience, please let me know, but...
Well, when there's a vampire apocalypse, I know I'm not coming to you for help.
Alright, well, zombie apocalypse, I think I'm pretty solid on
Okay.
that. But vampires, no, I'll probably just join them, to be perfectly honest. So
There you
yeah,
go.
definitely don't come to me unless you want to be one of the living dead. Ooh, my god, that damage! Was that literally only the EQ combo from
Yeah,
Zatanna?
it looks like it.
What's she building there then? We've got the Star Heart, Book of Eternity. Yeah, she's basically entirely Blaster. Of course, she does have a little bit of will from the Abencer's Lantern, and has the will redone from Dr. Destiny's Dreamstone. But aside from that, she's just going deep, which is perfectly fine. She still has similar potency as a controller. She's just not gonna have as strong of a heal. I feel like Bones of Love is something that you really want to wait to use that special play on. You don't just kind of want to throw it out willy-nilly. But I guess
Yeah.
knowing that they weren't going to initiate right off the bat, it's good to get that additional damage that she got on Paprika.
Alright, you get the damage over time.
Yeah.
But you could also disrupt Flash's ultimate during that short fuse time.
You can.
Yeah.
So if he activates it and he's in that animation,
I'm pretty sure it should disrupt it, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't
so
think
bad.
I've actually been a Star Sapphire against a Flash. So that's good enough. So the ultimate goes down. Probably going to take a...
Immediately
Ooh!
bunnied.
He
and then
ulted
suppressed.
he ulted in the ultimate, so he did end up going down. Cyborg was the one to pick up the kill, but African goes down instantly. This is 1 for 1 for 1, basically, we have going on right now. This is exactly what we saw last time, but Absolute Legends know that they have the advantage. They're going to be pursuing. If Joker can land that little punchy... Ooh, a little bit of a good juke on is there. Oh, but the movement speed, there you go. Her dazzle is probably going to keep away. Oh, why? Why are you still going in? That punchy's so hard to hit now. I mean, and that's fair because it has the range on it. I feel like it's really good in the laning phase when you're trying to predict it. You know? But like otherwise, once you're getting in an open area like that, you have to be really cautious about the way you're using it.
Yep, it's pretty brutal. It also has the reset mechanic, which kind of gives you that second chance if you use it correctly when someone's gonna die. So.
Does it actually? Doesn't it reset all of his abilities, or does it just?
He
reset
gets
his
a
energy?
flat cooldown reduction
Okay.
from his passive on all its abilities. It just so happens that's the lowest cooldown, so
Right.
it feels like a reset.
It
It's
feels,
not actually a reset.
It almost feels just like you can punch you and then punch you again. In fact, I think you used to be able to literally punch you immediately, but that was a little strong. So it's good that was brought a little bit more into line. So now the dampener had originally been down for KGO, but now the dampener is down for Absolute Legends. So at this point, it's like, okay. Ooh, so Khan was really out of position. I don't think the Ease is actually going to get there in time. That's the sort of thing where it's like, you know you're out of position. The moment you're kind of thinking to yourself, I shouldn't be here. You
Yeah.
shouldn't be there, really.
And it's actually a tough decision. Sometimes do you run or do you just
Right.
back where you are? It's
He had only the cameras right here to really give him vision of the area. So with that entire bit there, I don't think he would have.
kind of unknown area.
Yeah, the unknown is a scariest thing. Once again, it's like the whole game is about the radar to these guys.
Yeah, they just kind of want to get the global credits and the vision that comes with it.
Well, what do credits matter if you don't get the objectives out of it? I mean,
Yeah.
Raider is an objective, but it's an objective for credits. Ooh, African took so much damage from that. I think Ease is just trying to do some zoning there. Brojo ends up going down without using his ultimate. That's not a fight that you want to have. Paprika Harley also goes down. did use her ultimate, wasn't able to do anything about it on this sideboard, going in deep, and, ooh, was that the, yep, there, that's the stasis, he's coming back, but, oh, he's not making it out of there alive. Green Arrow, just basic attack to death. Now, I honestly feel like they could make a really ridiculous push off of this, if not, like, a winning push.
It's possible.
Because they have 40 seconds. They have no ultimate on the Joker. African could take somebody out, but if Zatanna has, you know, the peel or the bunny, which of course she does because the bunny has like 0 cooldown essentially.
Yeah, Nightbat's coming in with the teleport, it looks like.
Oh my god, that was just one EQ combo. I don't think African has any power armor. Well, she does. She's starting to build a Rachel Ghost Robe, but that was a little bit delayed. You want to build power armor when you have 2 blasters like Star Sapphire and Zatanna against you.
Yep.
Oh, this is not looking good for Absolute Legends. First power core turret's going down, and Joker is way too low to be able to do anything about it. So narrow. Almost got it. The second power core turret going down. The flash is up. He does have his ultimate. If he just charges right in there, he could probably stop them, but, you know, with Green Arrow pushing that. Now they're so crippled at this point. It's almost like they should just kind of let it end. I mean, do you feel like they... It's obviously possible in any situation to bring it back, but considering how well KGO is playing at this point, do you think that Absolute Legends is going to be able to make a game-turning play?
It's certainly possible, as you said.
Yeah.
It is unlikely. It's tough because the Super Drones, they're going to be pushing constantly, so they have to worry about those. And while that's happening, KGO is going to be able to get the EMPs when they come up. So it's just going to make it that much harder. Actually, they don't have turrets to worry about, so unless they want more Super Drones in the side lanes, they can use the EMPs to take down the dampeners.
And they have so much vision. Like, I've said it all game, but really, like, look at the ridiculous amount of blue on this minimap here.
Yep.
There's basically this entire area is... And that's an aggressive placement. They don't even really care about what's going on in here because they have all of the dampeners are up, and top and bot still have the insurance of that one turret that's outside of the dampener, so they're not really, like, they're not required to be concerned about it.
Right.
And that's kind of what they've played a little bit more passively, and Absolute Legends did try to make like, a lot of aggressive plays early on. And it seemed like it was going to work out for them, but it looks like their reactiveness is what's good. So they're instantly going to kill this Leviathan. Wow. I wonder who's picking up which. I guess we'll see. Cripsy picked up the Rachel Ghost Robe, which is definitely really good. Ease is going in. That was a really good ult by the Joker to split them. Both sources of damage, with the exception of Star Sapphire, weren't able to get in there. So, I mean, but at the same time, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? African getting caught by Nightmare Batman and dying instantly. Somehow the Mr. Punchy ended up just splitting the D there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone can answer to Gaslight Joker's durability. It's just too tanky right now.
Their power core is open. I mean, I have to say this is a wash at this point. Like, they can't kill Cripsy. Ooh, and the bunny! Oh no, Paprika! One basic attack from Green Arrow and it's all over. And that was a really good flash almost. Almost killed Salty Kai, but... Ooh, but you're coming back to life and you're going into... Oh my god, Zatanna's skewer. I'm sorry. Oh, but Cripsy did go down immediately after. You can end the game! No, Ease! He's just gonna go down, Cyborg to... Whoa, that freaking crit animation. I don't know.
He wants his wings.
He does. Oh, Supreme. Almost. Oh, good Bones of Love. But, oh, he actually activated the W before the Q even reached him. Kind of Neuron's contract a little bit out of fear, it almost seemed like. Not able to put out enough damage to actually secure the kill there. I think he just needed to wait a little bit before he used that first W. Because it actually kind of made an awkward placement for his Predator there. Ooh, sneakiness! Salty Kai teleported in! Is he gonna get it? 3 basic attacks!
Oh, not enough.
But, oh, come on.
A couple more of those will have
I feel like that's like where you basically say, all right, you deserve the victory. You've effectively won. It's gotta be so grueling for them. I mean, it's basically...
Here we go again.
Oh, ease. He has his wings, though.
Gaslight Joker is so
the wings.
tanky.
Oh, basic attack.
No,
He's not gonna get it. He's not gonna get it.
He might have hit it once. I didn't even see the power core health move.
Oh my god,
now.
this is ridiculous. This is a pro match that's happening right here? I don't know, I'm having doubts about this.
They're going for the style points instead of just grouping up. Now we gotta wait.
This is what we call bad manners.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they could be calmly grouping up and securing it, but they're like trying to do something like, oh, gonna teleport in, but now they're kind of just embarrassing themselves. They're just like going in and dying.
And they're just teleporting in with vision, so they obviously see the other team there, and he just didn't care that the 4 members of Absolute Legends was waiting for him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, KGO, they're pretty silly guys. if Absolute Legends makes this counter push, I feel like they deserve it because KGO was trying so hard to make those plays, and it wasn't going to pan out for them. I don't know, though. KGO's been playing too well. I'm pretty sure they're going to secure this. Ooh, Supreme, good ultimate, ends up snaring Khan. He does have the wings, though. Ooh, Brojo, a little bit too deep without the rest of his team to back him up. Khan, you're not going to live through that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Green Arrow goes down instantly. There are actually a lot of wings over here on Absolute Legends, but it's not going to be enough. Ooh, license plate. See, they just need to keep going and going.
Yeah, it looks like they can end it.
Do you think they're gonna try? I mean, they actually do have all the dampeners up.
That's true. They might just want to go for the middle dampener since its durability is lowered since it respawned.
Yeah. They've all really only been going for the middle dampener. I don't think any other dampeners have gone down
No,
on the other side, right?
Nope.
I wonder why. There's something about the middle dampener that has a particular allure.
Shortest distance from base to base.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's a perfectly acceptable reason. They actually don't have the EMP, though, correct? Ooh,
No, both
Salty
EMPs
High.
are actually up.
Oh, but, I mean, maybe at this point in the game you kind of disregard them. Absolute Legends African, are you going to go down? Not going to be able to make it out of there. Good plays by Gaslight Joker. Well, I'm a single person who's pretty much there for that. I think we can successfully call this the end. They've pretty much annihilated everybody. The Flash just ultimates the dead air, unfortunately. I think that was a bit of like a panic, like, no, must kill, and just wasn't able to get there in time. Wow, so, you know, a lot of people were definitely thinking that Absolute Legends has had a lot of prowess, but it's really cool to see KGO actually pulling out that victory. It seemed at first like they weren't really going to. Didn't it seem like, you know, Absolute Legends, they were good at getting the kills, but almost since like the 9 or 8 minute mark, it seems like KGO was like, all right, let's put our tryhard mode on.
Yeah, it was actually pretty surprising because I thought the team fighting composition of Absolute Legends was better.
Yeah.